Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's live stream. Yes, that was all fake yawning, although it kind of made me tear a little bit. So tonight, I'm trying out a couple different things. First of all, obviously, as you can see, you get a very good first-rate view, but you also get this view. Hello, everybody, and welcome to my stream. So, today, going to be working on some farm simulator. I haven't exactly figured out what I need to do today. Currently it is the 14th, 11:20 at night. So, I've got the most of Field 17. I need to take a few more core samples. I know I need to do that. And probably going to be kind of a short video, because that's probably going to be just about it. I need to stop by the drag strip and move that car that's still sitting there. So, usually I would go pick up grab my truck to do the running, but this time I'm actually just going to use my car. So we're going to head over to the diesel tanks area in my new Mustang. I actually bought two. This was all off camera. So what I ended up doing was I bought the in-game Road Rage. And then on top of the Road Rage, I also got a my Spec 5, got a Hellcat Red Eye, and got my off-road Mad Buggy. So, gonna go ahead and get auto drive engaged here to head down to go pick up the Gator. So without further ado, let's get to the video. Alright, so here we are. Gonna go ahead and get the car started up. So this Road Rage is orange, black racing stripes. I'm not usually a fan of the Road Rage, to be honest. I think it could have been built a little bit better. There's no... I started myself yawning to do the intro. I can't stop. But they could have put like cluster lighting in for the instrument panel. You know, maybe make the navigation screen light up or something. So personally, I think this car is rather basic. At least the headlights and the turn signals work, though. I'll give them that. But if I remember correctly, actually, on this particular model of car, based on the front end lights, I would say that this is a 2010 and up model. I'll say 2010 to 2016 probably. Or, no, maybe, I don't know. I'll have to look that up, but anyway, do the headlight pattern. But they had sequential taillights. So, I think that's something that could have been, you know, a couple things that could have been included that would have been better. Personally, I was always a fan of the eyeball headlights. I actually used to own a 2006 Ford Mustang. And me and my wife actually did the work on it. And it was a heck of a car. I always loved the eyeball headlight look, though. I even had metal tin cutouts that I made to cover the headlights. I spray painted black, and could attach or detach them to give it the full blackout look during daytime. Take them off at night when I needed to use my lights. Because obviously I didn't want to like smoke out the lights. I know a lot of people do that, but in my opinion, it actually makes the lights harder to use. Oh, I think we just had server save. Whoa! You guys saw that maneuver, right? That was pretty cool. But anyway, so, and the audio quality, just subpar. It's very subpar. But at least the door opens. Although it doesn't auto open and close. That was a really nice feature that the TLX 9000 had. Alright. Get that door open. Get in the gator. Because of the new scanning radius that this thing has, this thing will take hold. This was actually a modification that I downloaded. It takes it back to the original 1.0, but it increases the radius from 32.5 to 75. So to give you a general idea of that, so right here, this little tiny circle that you can kind of see there was a 32.5. And obviously, as you can see, the green circle on my mini map, a 75 definitely does a lot more area. Let's go ahead and take my first sample. But look at the size difference. Like, take another sample. This will actually be the first field that I have ever completely scaled in. Now, you know, a lot of people might be like, well, why didn't you do that before? Or why are you doing it now? So, back on Wild West, we noticed the field type was basically pretty much just one in the several different sample locations that we took. We pretty much figured out that section of Field 17 was all one land type. Maybe some slight changes from one to another, but it was more or less 100% the same. So, you know, we basically were like, okay, well, if it's only, you know, if it's only going to be like that, and the circle, of course, is so small, we're not going to take the week and a half it'll take to course that whole field. Even though I shrunk it down to quadrants, I guarantee you probably each quadrant was probably just about the size of this one, to be honest. This whole field. So, wasn't going to do that. So we just took some generic, some parameter testing, a couple different spots, just to see how the field looked. And basically it all looked like one field. So, you know, just kind of skipped it. But I noticed when I took my sample spots, I took one originally here, 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 and here. Actually, it was right there. I noticed the field had different color soil types to it. That's why I decided on this one to just do the whole field. And of course, you know, you can definitely see the difference. You know, loam and a whole bunch of sandy loam, and then this loamy loam. So, I'll probably pronounce that wrong, and I do apologize. But anyway, because of all that, you know, I was just like, okay, well, since it's so different, might as well just do the whole field just to, you know, get a general idea. And I'm glad I did, because I actually found out, and me and Jack were talking about this earlier this morning, where I'm actually going to run some differences, because look at the pH differences. So I ran a full field of lime, and you can see the pH offsets. Obviously, you can't see them in these areas. I will get that fixed here in a few. Like I said, I'm just trying to take a few samples to try to get those areas that I missed. Get one here. I'll send them in, and then I'll work my way down. Alright, so I got those sent in. Get to the point where I cover the edge and shoot down. So anyway, so what I figured out, which each soil type has a different pH range, good or bad. So what I ended up finding out from this procedure is that it's not all the same. Like when I originally, when I originally dropped this base coat layer of lime, okay, I didn't have it run as automatic because the automatic, in my opinion, was too sporadic. So I just did mostly just a minimal level of lime manually. You know, just set it to 0.84 and let it do its thing. You know, just went through the whole field with GPS, ran my straight lines, and just dropped a base layer. You know, kind of like a primer if you're painting, for example. So what I figured out by doing this is this is what my pH levels ended up looking like. You know, some of it's decent, some of it's real low, but each soil type actually has a different level of, yeah, I know my nitrogen is bad. The nitrogen doesn't change until you fertilize the field, and of course I don't fertilize until I plant, so that will stay the same. But if you look over here on the field info, so sandy loam has a 6.5 is the value you want. And I have a 6.125, so it's in the okay range. If I go out here away from my unit just a little bit, see, Loomy Sand has a 6.0. So each individual field type actually has its own recommended pH value. So Loomy Sand, this whole yellow section through the center, is actually a 6.0. The sandy loom is a 6.5. And then the regular loom, I'll have to go check here in a minute. Once I get down in that area. If I remember correctly, actually, it's higher. I think it's like a 7 or something like that, or maybe it's a 5. I remember it's way different than the other two. Or 6.75 maybe, I'm not sure. But all three types obviously have a different pH reading. The automatic setting in your sprayer or fertilizer takes what field type it is and then goes, okay, so this is where it needs to be. This is where it currently is. This is how much I need to add to get it to this point. That's why doing the field like this, I'm pretty sure, is the best way to do it. Alright, so this... Okay, yeah, so this is a 6.75, but you see it's only a 6.0. That's bad. And, well, you can't really see my... It says I'm a 6.0. Yeah. Yeah, so all this up here is actually the same, 6.0, which is the same type of land. So as you can see, that's actually not good for crops. So, I mean, there's going to be a few holes here and there. I'm not really worried about those. I'm just trying to get the most of the land. So, you know, now I know that I'm going to have to put another layer down. Since it's the 14th day, it will be the 15th day here in about 30 or so minutes. I am actually going to put down another coat. I'm going to go ahead and pre-treat the ground with herbicide, and then I'm going to drop me a layer of lime again to try to get everything to the ideal pH level before I plant. And the Precision Farm DLC allows this because everything in your, if we open this here, so you see the pH value lime application rate is right now obviously 0. It's set to auto. So when you go out into the field, it detects what your pH value is for that area and adjusts the flow of how much it drops in that area to match where, you know, the amount of increase it has to do to get to the ideal value. So, I'm going to go ahead, go out here, take the sprayer out. I'll go ahead and run a coat of herbicide to get the ground pre-treated to anti-weed movement. And then once I get that done, I'm going to go ahead and let's get my GPS online. I believe I've already coded this one's system in. 4045 system. 120. Show the lines. Yes. There they are. Alright. So what I did, something different I started doing in the guidance. So, base group. This one actually has not been in the field yet. But, as you can see, I named it R4045. Now, the reason I did that is because the piece of equipment is the telltale thing. Since both of them are 4045, so I'm using the same exact marker in each. And the cool thing is I actually found that if I needed to, I could flip the track 90 degrees. So I can go either north to south or east to west. and it knows this. So, go ahead and get unfolded here. Oh, by the way, just a realistic killer. So my sprayer, obviously, as you can see, it's probably, well, actually, no, it's short of the tree. But this particular sprayer, the arms actually have no collision, which to some people, of course, would take out the realism of it. I personally don't mind it because of the fact that it just makes it a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and get that lowered to the ground. And let's start treating. So we're going to get this ground pre-treated. And then after she's pre-treated with herbicide, I don't know if it actually needs to do it in this order. I'm just testing to see. So we're going to find out. So if it doesn't actually, the pre-treat doesn't help, then I'll know. I'm running tests, more or less, kind of like actual farmers do, of course. Which brings me to a design that I'm going to come out with on the merch. Once they allow the artwork on the back, I've already came up with a pretty cool idea in my head on what my next one will be. So I'm not going to give that away right now. We'll discuss it later when the time comes. But basically, in short, it has to do with, as a farmer, like one of the big names that I know is Grant. I don't know him personally, but I've watched a lot of his stuff, which is The Squad. He actually, as far as I understand it, actually farms. And Spencer TV might as well. Buck might as well. But I've noticed, like, a lot of the experience that comes from farmers, I always kind of viewed Farming Simulator as, okay, well, if I wanted to test out a new piece of equipment to see how it worked, Farming Simulator wouldn't be a bad idea for those kinds of farmers, because then they could test out the equipment, see how it functioned, see how it operated, or run some field tests. Before you do it in real life with thousands and thousands of dollars, does it work better if I pre-treat my field with herbicide? Test it out in Farm Sim, see what happens. Because that's better than losing a whole year's worth of crop, So that's actually what I'm doing here, is I'm testing out the field, running herbicide through it first to see if pre-treating it prior to planting carries the treatment for weeds through to the end, or if I'll still need to run it. So I got a couple fields that I'm running. I'm running 18, 16, and 17 right now. 17 is the one that I am testing for the pre-treat, and of course the entire precision system thoroughly. 16 and 18 are already planted. 16 has been treated for weeds after it was planted. 18 has not been treated at all. The weed growth, in my opinion, is actually surprisingly low. 18's only got 2 tiny little spots so far. Of course, as we go through, well, I guess that grass has a little spot up there, but as we go through the season and things are growing, excuse me if you heard that, we'll see what happens. So I'm running 3 different fields with 3 different choices. And we'll see what their yields are, we'll see how they do, how much cost effective it is. Because according to these two, this field actually is supposed to have the expected best yield potential. And according to the thing, those 2 fields actually are silted clay or salted. Was that salted clay? I think I missed it. Silty clay. Both these fields are apparently primarily silty clay, which is, I don't think I've ever actually dealt with silty clay before. So I'm not sure really what that is. But since these two fields are basically, more or less identical on what they are, their expected yield potentials are pretty close. This one's got a little bit more loom to it. But, so we're going to find out exactly what comes of it. And of course, field 17, that's different material of soil. So we'll just see how that one does compared to the other two. And it's basically a science experiment, which I think anyone who farms, whether in IRL or farm sim, that's what you actually do for your first run, is actually, experiment. See what grows best. See how things do. You can't just like hop into it and throw $100,000 of seed at it right off the bat. You're going to take, small little baby steps and see what happens. So it's a bit of an experiment, but it can pay off. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to the video to, well, not really fast forward, but skip to, eventually I'll figure out the fast forward thing. So I'm pretty sure I'll have to throw that into my editing software and, make the fast forward parts. So we'll see what comes of that. But anyway, for now, I'm just going to continue jumping to the next part, and we will come back. So see you guys here in a little bit. Alright, so I do apologize for the major lapse. So finish off the field run, put the next coat on it. Realized I accidentally pressed the stupid button to reset the values on the fields, so now I have no idea what everything cost me for it, so it's kind of gonna offset me just a little bit, but so grabbed the tractor, picked up Dom's Charger, which I'll show you. Obviously those watching the live stream already saw it, but I'll show you guys that it actually can be picked up by the tractor and carried around. So went ahead and moved it back here. To be honest, actually that's a trick that I used to do at I worked in a junkyard. We had a wheel loader, and that's actually how we'd move the cars around that were scrap cars, was by literally doing that. We'd pick it up. I'd pick it up on forks on the wheel loader, and that's how I'd move it. Also, it was very nice for doing like removing parts and such. Lift the car off the ground, wheel loader to hold it up, no problem. So, I'm gonna go ahead and end tonight's video because there's really nothing else I'll probably do. If I do, I'll make sure I put out a recording for it tomorrow. So, because I've been watching quite a bit of NCIS on Netflix, so I'm kind of more watching that than I am doing much on this. There's not much to do today, so. Oh, hey, look, my chart filled in, finally. So put some lights around my perimeter, and of course the lawnmower. So we're pretty well broke. $851 is my name. So we're gonna have to be very careful on spending. I don't want to take out a loan unless I have to. So take it one piece at a time. Probably actually might do some more auto drive stuff. Of course, I'll do that off recording because that gets kind of boring, to be honest. Nothing really eventful. But, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. So, y'all have a great evening. And I will see you next time. Have a good night, everybody.